Hi, and welcome to the Southern Mountain Kitchen. Today we're making cube steak with southern gravy. Alright, to start with, you need to have an egg. Put it into a bowl and add buttermilk to it. If you don't want to use buttermilk, you can use regular milk. It's your option. Now stir this up to make sure that the egg is broken up and mixed through. On a platter, you need to add a half a cup of flour, and to that add a half a cup of Italian breadcrumbs. Now open up your package of a cube steak, and you're going to dip this into the egg and milk mixture. Make sure it's really coated, because you're going to need that to actually make sure that your breading sticks to. Once you get a good coating on, pull it out and put it onto your platter and flip the steak back and forth until you get it completely covered. Usually only takes a couple of flips and you've got it mixed through. Do this with your other meat as well. Now in a pan, heat oil up until you get it to a temperature where you think it's ready to put the steak in. Usually you could drop a little flour in. If you see it sizzling, you know the temperature is hot enough. And put your steaks in the pan. To this, you're going to sprinkle on steak seasoning. You're going to need at least 1 teaspoon. And then you're going to add garlic and pepper seasoning, which again is 1 teaspoon. And on top of that, you're going to add salt and pepper to taste. This is your decision on how much salt you want to use or how much pepper you want to use. Some people don't like as much salt or are on low sodium diets, so restrict it if you have to. Once your steak starts cooking, you're going to want to cook it at least 4 minutes or so on each side. The point being is you want to brown it but not cook it continuously, because you're going to take it out when you go to make the gravy, and when you return it to the gravy it's going to continue to cook then, because once you put it back into the gravy it's going to cook for at least 15 minutes once it's back in again, so it's going to finish the cooking of the interior of it. Once you flip your steaks, make sure you salt and pepper on the other side as well. You want to get the seasoning thoroughly through on that side. As you can see, the steaks brown up very well, but again, they're not cooked completely through. At this point, you're going to remove them, put them on a platter, and put them to the side as we prepare to make gravy. You're going to have oil left in your skillet. You're going to use this to make the gravy, and to that you're going to add anywhere from 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of flour, depending on how much oil you have. Take a spatula, mix it up a bit so that way you get the flour broken up and into the grease that's still in the pan, but also you're mixing in anything that was left over from the steak. This is going to help season and flavor what you're making right now. So once you have everything, mix it really thoroughly. You're going to add salt and pepper to what's in the pan. And again, this is to taste. You do not need a lot, but if you like the flavor of salt and pepper, add as much as you want. Mix it up again. You want to get this mixed through the flour and oil. To this, you're going to add warm or hot water. You're going to need at least a cup and a half. You're going to pour it in a little bit at a time, and you're going to keep mixing it, because as you mix, this will get thicker, and you're going to need water to add to it to break it down a bit and make the gravy a little more flowing. You don't want thick gravy. It doesn't work very well with this. So keep adding water. You may end up doing it 3 or 4 times as you mix this up, because it will thicken. And if you need more, you can go up to 2 cups of water if you need it. Just keep adding to. Now as you stir this together, you'll see that everything mixes really well, so don't be discouraged if it looks a little thick or lumpy at times, because as you keep stirring over the heat, you're going to keep mixing the water in, and it's going to make a very nice silky gravy. Once you get it completely mixed together and you've gotten as much water as you think you need in to make it smooth, then it's going to be time to add your steak back in again. So once you have your steak back in, let it rest for a minute, get some of the gravy on the bottom, and then flip them over, because you want to flip it to where you've got gravy covering the entire steak before you actually cover this and let it cook. Once you get everything settled in, you're going to want to cook this for at least 15 minutes. The longer you cook it, the more tender it will be, and the better the flavor. Once you've cooked for a few minutes, you can turn the temperature down to about medium and let it just keep simmering. And you can flip from time to time as you go through this, just to actually make sure the gravy is all over the steak. At the end, just stir your gravy through to make sure everything is thoroughly mixed. And there you have it. This is cube steak. Some people call it cubed steak, whichever you call it. This is a great dinner. You can put this with a vegetable and a roll, and you have a wonderful meal for your family. I do have a recipe for making rolls to go with this. I will include that in the description below. And thank you for watching. I hope you'll like and subscribe, and I'll see you the next time.